I think India is a fascinating place for me, and I was speaking at an event last week here in London, talking about the progress in India and the opportunity for people from the UK to invest in India, and somebody described it as intellectual Disneyland, and actually that has stuck with me. Having lived in India since 2019, I can actually say that the pace of growth and the pace of evolution, but in a measured and controlled way to drive positive value, is nothing like I've ever seen before. And just to give you context, I've lived in more than 3 continents, I've worked in more than 7 continents, and I think it's just a fascinating place to live, play, work, explore, and build relationships with. So, it's interesting because this morning I was on a panel talking about the fintech ecosystem more specifically, but a deviation of the question that you've asked. I think really what's come out of that session is what I'm going to share with you. There is a need for regulators to have a play here, as well as businesses, but I think it needs to be coexistent, and also it needs to be on both sides of the pond. So, where India has its 2047 priorities around 100 years of independence, what it wants to achieve, there are enablers here that can support that through partnership. In the same way the UK is going through unprecedented times economically, we're dealing with a very unique geopolitical situation, home and closer to home on the continent. And again, I think there are definite benefits and learnings that come from the Indian continent that we can take, we can embed, and we can perhaps accelerate some of our own journeys with. I think for me, what stands out, and this is probably my 3rd sort of India-UK focused event in as less as 2 weeks, what really stands out for me is the breadth and depth of experience that you have here. So the number of subjects and the verticals that you are covering, the exposure of the individuals that are here speaking and also in attendance. I think the quality of representation is really high. And then the dialogue in terms of next steps. So for example, at my session, the next step was to go away and set up a WhatsApp group and email exchanges. I think in other panels, that doesn't always happen. So I actually like the fact that we're talking about what can we do to solve some of the challenges and the problems, how do we address the opportunities, and what can we collectively do to continue the lovely conversations we started here today.